steps up, Huntley, sacked, T.J. Watt, NFL history. Watt has tied Michael Strahan's single-season record. Oh, no.
In the air to right. This is deep, and he did it again! Jack Sawinski wins it for the Pirates! 3 home runs in a game!
Welcome to another live Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio right here in our municipal building in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching our shows on Comcast 7 and Bethel Park. Holy heck,
21.
Wipe that out. We're a little discombobulated. We had some technical difficulties that are major here, and I'm just suffering from brain fog. Nick just sat down, and we won't mention how we saw him, but I'm back. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 21, only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park, all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, City of Pittsburgh, Greater Pittsburgh area. Thanks to all of you for watching us. Thanks for watching us on Facebook Live. And on our Facebook, we know we're getting close to 7,000 likes, but we got 6.9K followers, so we'll go by that. Took a lot of hard work getting past that 100 and 200, and I forget how many years it took, but we've been doing it, so we appreciate it. You know, if I'm not promoting something, Pittsburgh Sportsline channel on YouTube, we got 111 subscribers. We just need half of you people watching tonight to subscribe to Pittsburgh Sportsline channel, just half. And we're going to talk about maybe a prize when we get certain numbers, and we'll try to do that out there, and we'll get addresses, and we'll document who likes a Pittsburgh Sportsline channel on YouTube. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine, Smoking Jim Frazier, and then I told you we have Chip Hayner back, but we have a reputation to uphold here that Guns is somehow weaseled his way in there. Excuse me, I got choked up on that.
It's my fan base.
He's a good friend of mine, and if he doesn't know somebody in Allegheny County in western Pennsylvania, he's not Guns. Jim Ellenbogen is rotating with Chip Hayner. Chip went last week, Guns went this week. Chip will be back next week. To all of your fans that don't understand why we cut you off the show, Chip's been with us almost 12 years. He started on our 3rd show, and he's been here talking Pirates the whole time and a couple other subjects. And Guns will talk on anything that comes up, and I appreciate what he's added to the show, and all of you in different states, communities, in addition to the 6,900 plus people that do follow us. We appreciate you too. And if you're new, we appreciate that too. And we got Nick VIP Callis. And Nick did something great for us. I always had my promos. I have the tape here. It's gone. We need Windex to get this off. And we got Rowan in the control room.
Row!
And he's with Marco Rohde.
That's my man.
And his
Marco.
chauffeur tonight was his mom, Diane. We had a great conversation with her. Prayers to her dad and mom. Go out to the Marianos. And Johnny's on camera. And you got to give him some credit. He's on one camera, and he got to do 4 or 5 different shots with it. So we'll hope he does well. Rowan, please start the promos. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization. The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com.
And now this message from BPTV.
Alas, poor talking machine. I knew him well. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy?
Dave, I'm not dead. I'm still doing Pittsburgh Sportsline every Tuesday night and many other weekly shows on BPTV.
That's great, Al, but then who's this?
I don't know, but we must leave right now. Let's go. Help save Pittsburgh police officer Jeffrey Crawford. Jeffrey is in need of a kidney donation. He's in stage 5 renal failure and he's on dialysis 3 times a week. He needs this kidney ASAP. To contact the UPMC donor registry, call 412-647-4438 or go to livingdonorreg.upmc.com. And to help spread awareness, use the hashtag #BlessJeff on socials. Let's come together to support Pittsburgh policeman Jeffrey Crawford in his time of need. Alex Reed is in need of a kidney. 2 weeks after college graduation, Alex's kidneys failed. A gracious donor gave Alex 7 years of life, but now he needs another kidney. To learn more about becoming a donor for Alex, call 830-285-2140 or go to kidneysolutions.org. Zhang Taekwondo just opened a new location in the South Hills, along with its location in Wexford and its inclusion in the curriculum of Provident Charter School in Troy Hill. Zhang uses Taekwondo to teach its students confidence and self-discipline through physical fitness. Zhang is offering a 4-week special. You get a uniform and lessons for $30. If you mention the Talking Machine, Smoking Jim, or VIP Nick, they'll give you a further discount. For more information, go to zhangtkd.com or call 724-934-9264. Zhang Taekwondo Bridgeville invites everyone to come celebrate its 1-year anniversary on Friday, May 19th. Warm-ups start at 5:30. A class for all ages at 6, a professional demonstration at 6:30, then a social at 7:30. Pittsburgh Sportsline will be there to cover it all. Zhang looks forward to seeing you at this milestone celebration. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh... I know, but I hate when the graphic pauses. All right. Thank you, Nick, for doing all that with the promos. Thanks, Rowan. Paul Haley, retired Teamster, local number 30, supporting our Union brothers at the Post-Gazette. Thank you so much, Paul. I only had 36 years there, got out at age 54, so thank you. Johnny Mariano, Insider Scoop. Smoking Jim ahead by 27% in the polls.
Yes.
I have to do a disclaimer.
Thanks, Johnny.
My disclaimer on Johnny is he's never voted. He supposedly lives in Monroeville. He doesn't use a government name. Smokin' Jim Frazier is not his government name. So I won't say he's a liar. You can add it up.
I be voting every year.
Hey, there ain't no way. All right, Ralph is watching. Anthony Bacco's watching. Guns is watching. Amy said she went to vote. Here, I'll tell all of you, if you haven't voted like Smokin' Jim, the polls are still open till 8. He didn't know that. So don't watch the show. If you're in Bethel Park, go to your polling place and vote now. You have my recommendation. I don't care who you vote for. I've been voting since I'm 18. And I gave up on both parties 40 years ago.
I worked the polls for Smoking Jim today, and the last guy said to me, I'm voting for him. I said, really, why? He goes, because I liked when he knocked Ali out.
All right, no further ado, the joking time. We're going to talk sports. First, Smokin' Jim Frazier. What's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green,
here's an easy
you
one.
got to see Levine in the VIP of BPTV. Nick Harry Callis with the green on today. But hey, man, the most knowledgeable sports guy I ever met was Mike Rhodey, the father of Marco. And he will agree with me when I say this.
He's not here.
You are, I'm sure he's watching, you are what the back of your baseball card says you are. I'll say it again. You are what the back of your baseball card says you are. The back of the Pirates baseball card says they're a 90 to 100 loss team every year. I'm not surprised what's been happening, whether they 2-14 or something in the last week or two, or 11.
No.
Am I off a bit?
Oh, yeah,
I'm off a bit. But that's what I'm saying. Hey, listen, I'm a Pirate fan from way back.
What year?
I'm proud of them for
What
being in
year?
the Guinness Book of World Record for most consecutive lost seasons in the history of organized sports. But you are what the back of your baseball card says you are, and the Pirates is a below 500 team, a 90 to 100 loss a year team, and that's what's on my mind.
Well, I just want to thank you, Smoking Jim,
Let's go Bucks!
for being consistent. You're not a Pirate fan.
I love them.
You never knew about them until you joined the
First team
show.
to play an all-black lineup. How can I not like them?
Smoking Jim learned that with Chip and I about 10 years ago. We've been doing our show almost 12 years.
And if you didn't, you and I honored somebody one time who was involved in that lineup. So
Yeah, that's right. That's
Willie
right.
Stargell?
no, he was dead by the time I was tuned up.
Before you was born.
Yeah,
right?
not before. No, not quite. But I was 2 years old, I think, when he passed. Al Oliver.
Al Oliver, that's right.
He should be in the Hall of Fame. All right, Smoking Jim is always pulling the negative out. What place are the Pirates in? Are they still above 500?
Yes.
Then
22
let's
and 19.
enjoy that the Pirates are still having a winning season so far. And like I've told Smoking Jim when he thinks, things are going wrong, it's a 162 game season in baseball. He's used to 16 games now, which he said the NFL's for the players. That's why they put an additional game on so they get more concussions, a.k.a. Tua, I'm healthy now this year, and they have different baselines. But that's where Smoking Jim comes from. They called him Vita Blue, and he was a right-handed pitcher. All of you baseball fans know that's a lie. And we're going to go to Guns. Jim Ellenbogen, what's on your mind?
First of all, I hope you all voted out there. But
I did.
good. For hundreds of years, moms have been telling their kids, sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never hurt you.
I remember.
Until the University of West Virginia decided they were going to change the narrative.
Wow.
Enter Coach Huggy. Super guy. Not only loved in West Virginia, loved in Pennsylvania, loved throughout Pittsburgh.
My son loves him. Drew loves him.
He's raised money for kids. He's done all kind of great stuff for the community. He's loved in the community and well thought of. Until he said a bad word. And I'm not excusing what he said. He comes from a generation where buddies in locker rooms threw names around that were inappropriate. They really never meant anything, but in today's society, you don't say those things, and I'm not condoning it. It was wrong. However, does the fine meet the crime? So let me add some conjecture to all this.
How about info for Smoking Jim?
Info, that works.
Because the C word he doesn't understand.
When
and I mean conjecture.
When middle linebacker Brian Urlacher decided during a Super Bowl interview to put on a vitamin water hat to advertise it, they fined him $100,000. When Namakai Sue, the defensive nose guard, stomped on a center's head for the Vikings, $100,000. Sean Rogers goes into the Cleveland airport with guns.
I remember.
$400,000. Ray Lewis. 2 people get murdered. He refuses to testify. Fine, $500,000. And enter Jamal Lewis.
And he walked out with the knife in his pocket.
Jamal Lewis pounds his significant other to a pulp, gets involved in all kind of drug things. The fine? $760,000.
You got some great stats. Where are we going?
Huggy says a bad word, inappropriate, $1 million a year.
Wow.
Every year he coaches there, $1 million, which will probably be $3-4 million before it's over.
Well, Smoking Jim's going to be a millionaire in 5 more years.
Well, there you go. So the point is, ladies and gentlemen, in their wisdom, which would be West Virginia, give me a break, they have changed hundreds of years worth of a narrative, and now it is sticks and stones will break your bones, and names will hurt you.
And
that's what's on my mind.
In the pocketbook.
In the pocket.
Smoking Jim will find out about that. He's working on it. Thanks, Guns. I appreciate your opinion. Again, the disclaimer, his opinions are his own. They don't necessarily represent BPTV or us on the panel, except for us old school guys like me. Anthony Bacco, thanks for telling Smokin' Jim Pirates are 22-19. Smokin' Jim, using your gateway math, 3 games over 500. And what month is this? May 16th. 100's not here yet. And he also said to Smokin' Jim, second place.
Ain't bad.
So how negative can Smokin' Jim be? He is trying it today. All right, let's go to Nick VIP Callis. Watch Johnny Mariano on the camera here. Let's see what happens. I'll try to lean forward, and he can lean backward.
Good. All right. Number one, Mitch.
We'll see in a second.
We good? I think
we don't see it.
We don't know. We good? We good? We're good. So, number one, Mitch Keller reportedly in talks of getting a contract extension, and I think he should get a contract extension, though it shouldn't be necessarily in the middle of the season just because you have one solid performance. I wouldn't say that necessarily defines your entire career or what your potential ceiling could be. But I mean, then again, he's the first Pirates pitcher. If you didn't hear, he's the first Pirates pitcher in franchise history to strike out 13 batters in an outing without allowing a run or a walk. You two all right?
No.
No, we're just admiring you in green, that's all.
Yeah, they're telling me that if you want the green.
Oh, you just.
Well, we think that may be. We're worried it might be an insurrection, trying to get Jim to say if you want the green, you got to see Nick.
That's not what it is. Come on now. Just a nice shirt.
No, we appreciate your conversation because Drew had a question for you, and that was the question.
Should he get an extension? Not right now. I want to see more. I want to see.
Then he asked, what will the Pirates do? Get rid of him?
I don't think the Pirates are going to get rid of him. I genuinely think that Ben Cherington and management are going to consider signing him back if he had contract extension. They're going to try to extend him if he continues to pitch well, but I think he still needs to. He still needs still needs to prove something. Whether that's okay, we're going to carry this team to the playoffs, and he's going to be the certain ace of the team, or whether the team starts to have those dog days of August and September again, and we need to see how well he's going to pitch and how he may forge through the toughest part of the season, right? The long stretch of the season. It's only been a month and a half. So I want to see how he continues to pitch and how he adjusts to the circumstances of the season, whether they're winning. And I'd more or less still like to see him if the Pirates continue to struggle, because it really will show what he's made of if they're struggling and he still goes out there and he stays focused and he continues to pitch well. I think that's going to demonstrate more about his character and about who he is as a man, and then how he does as a pitcher, that would then allow me to really be certain that he has earned the contract that many of us now want him to be signed to. But again, he did something that no other Pirates pitcher has done in franchise history, so that's also impressive, and I do take that into account. I just want to see a little bit more.
Go ahead.
Now, on to morals in sports. Guns sparked a little thing I wanted to talk about that I wasn't at the forefront of my mind because the Pirates are, doing what they're doing. But how about John Morant in the NBA holding a gun in an Instagram post? Now listen, that's wrong for some reasons. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's doing anything bad. It's just not a great look, and the NBA has some things in the contract. Hold on. Hold on. Has some things in contract. As a thing in contracts, right? There's a moral clause, right? Guns are not widely accepted as good. We understand that. But I was listening to a show on CBS Sports Radio, and the host was talking about how can you be so dumb, right? How can these players be so dumb? And then I was thinking, all right, well, yeah, we were all asking a question before about Bob Huggins. How can he be so dumb? And whenever an athlete gets into a predicament, how can an athlete be so dumb? And I just wanted to say, they can be so dumb because they're really afforded to be able to do whatever they want with the money they make and the social stature that they have, right? They don't really have consequence that can stop them from doing what they want to do. Think about Bob Huggins. He's losing $1 million in his salary, and yet, he's still clearly making enough to live well, and he still has his job, right? So he hasn't been canceled, so to speak. Like, he's still going out there and he's still coaching. Or John Morant's going to have an investigation. He might get suspended, but he's not going to be, indefinitely suspended from or permanently suspended from the NBA, because that would only be his second infraction, and I think it takes 3. So let's not ask ourselves, how can these athletes be so dumb? Let's ask ourselves, to what punishment do we hold these athletes to that would make them stop doing bad things? Now, you could try to infer the penalty of death. Just kidding, it's sarcasm, because, we all don't want to die, right? capital punishment, whatever you think about that, right?
Thanks for explaining that. Some people don't understand.
That's obviously too far, right? So what's the difference? What's the line we're going to take between a slap on the wrist and capital punishment, right? There's got to be a balance where we can still, demonstrate that these things aren't, good things, while, still hurting or still showing that, demonstrating through punishment that we're not okay with these things that are happening. So, if the NBA wants to suspend him and then, he's off the court for a few games and then he comes back and he still gets to make money, sure. Think about how the Cleveland Browns kind of awarded Deshaun Watson all this money after he was under investigation. They didn't care about his morals, and he said, I'm not going to go to Cleveland until they held 4 bags of money in front of him and said, sure, you want to come here. So just think about it, right? Don't ask the question, how are they so dumb? Ask the question, what's it going to take for us to really show that, we're not okay with this in society? That's what's on my mind.
Nick, you were great, and I appreciate your perspective. But I look at honesty in life. Mm-hmm. Moran got in trouble with a gun, could have been arrested or whatever, could have been fined, thrown out of the league, and he said he needed counseling.
Okay, well.
Well, now I believe you're sincere asking for counseling, because mental issues are very problematic in life, and people in America don't respect that there's mental illness, just like there's alcoholism, there's degenerate gambling, all kind of other things out there. So when you go there and you miss games, and
you weren't looking at us when you said that.
No, I had something in my eye. I had something in my eye. Like I always said, if the shoe fits, just pull the other one up so you can get out the door. But he said that it helped him.
Great.
Now, Anthony Bacco brought a good thing up. He goes, are you saying that if you have the money, you can do anything you want? And he says, if you're getting judged, we used to wait till the end of the season before you got judged. So if you have money, you can do anything. No, you can't, but that's what society is doing. Look at Snyder with the Commanders getting $6.6 billion for an NFL franchise.
They have enough to still live in luxury. They can't do everything.
Well, my thing is, here's why I hold different athletes and people in power, politically, families. If they tell me they went for mental help and they get it, then they do the same thing. Why did they quit getting counseling or taking medicine?
Good point.
That's the problem I ask. I don't ask why are they so stupid, because I have a theory that I've been saying my whole life. A lot of sports people shouldn't be your heroes. Family should be your heroes. Look at your family, a father, a mother, an uncle, a brother, cousin, whoever. If you make sports people your heroes...
What if the father's not in the home?
Well, Smoking Jim, we can't help it. You didn't have any parents, and you've run free.
You were spawned from a football and a blade of grass.
Yeah, but let me finish my point. So I coined a phrase that most athletes today are multimillionaires with a 2-cent brain. Hence, Bitcoin Smoking Jim. And when you have heroes that have the 2-cent brain, like Morant, I'll put Huggins in there, that you should give him some credit for being a legend, Hall of Fame coach, most wins at this point for a living coach, still coaching, and a legend in West Virginia. That's where you get a couple get-out-of-jail-free cards. But Ja Morant showing a gun after he said he went to counseling and was immature, what do you call that, being a young 24-and-a-half-year-old? Smoking Jim, you don't count on this. What do you call that? When he had help, said it helped, and he does this again.
Do you want me to say stupid?
Yeah.
Stupid is as stupid does.
Yeah. No, that's what you think.
I think that's the wrong question to ask, is all I mean. What's up? Go ahead.
I got one question.
It's not a good one.
It is pretty good.
It won't be.
I believe, for
There's a
me,
way we
like
got a
Roberto
problem.
Clemente said, for me, I think
No,
the
now
Pirates,
we know you're off.
I think the Pirates should give Keller a contract. But can you tell me what has he done that no other Pirate pitcher has ever done other than been beating some of the worst teams in the league?
He was the first pitcher in franchise history to strike out 13 batters while not allowing a run or a walk.
I didn't know that. That's great. Great
In 7
information.
innings.
He did it in 7.
Yeah, and they play 9.
They took him out?
He's a smart man.
Thank you.
Guns.
Now, I just feel like I got to say something since we're talking about Huggins. What I'm really saying here is if we become a society where saying something bad is worse than somebody doing something violent.
Or killing somebody.
Good point.
And obviously, according to the way people are being fined, if you say something, it's worse than if you do something. That's all I'm saying.
No, these are bothersome things in society, and sports is part of our society. Look in Pittsburgh. I say the reason I called my show Pittsburgh Sportsline.
Okay.
In every state in the union and foreign countries, there's Pittsburgh Steeler fans.
True.
So when you have sports, there's terrible towels. A friend of mine, she just had at the pyramid in Egypt, her and her husband had a terrible towel.
Is that right?
Yeah, because people do cool things like that, Smoking Jim. They just don't buy the $5 gear out of the back of a car. So, like you're dressed today, but that's another story. Wow. But no, Nick, thanks for your opinions, your things out there. And Anthony Bacco has, you don't honestly think these sports figures give 2 craps about how you feel about them being role models?
And that's my point. That's why we shouldn't ask if they're dumb. Or like, why are they so dumb to do these things? Because I don't care what I think. Yes.
Good point.
And Anthony Bacco, guns, that's what was considered bad is now okay. That's what we're getting to. All right, I got to get to what's on my mind. Rarely do we talk about the NHL, but there's been some great games. But I want to talk about the potential end of a dynasty in NBA. The Lakers sucked most of this year.
Disclaimer.
Suck means you don't do very well, and you get millions of dollars to not do very well, and you trade multi-million-dollar players, and you make multiple trades, and you end up winning all kind of games in a row, and then you're getting into the Golden State Warriors, and here they can't win a game on the road. Now, you're the defending champs in the NBA. And my family's a basketball family. My uncle was on the first NBA team in Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Raiders. Check it out, 1945. So it's in my blood. Now, the NBA, how can a team that's a great team with great shooters, one of the best shooters ever in the NBA, Steph Curry, right? They lose all the time on the road. So they run against the Lakers. Drew asked me, we talk and watch sports. I go, I like the Lakers. Guess what? The Lakers win. Anthony Davis, there is a miracle. He stayed healthy. And could this be it for the Golden State Warriors? That's the question I have. Pertaining to sports, we went a little off subject with society today and the problems we cannot solve here. But at least we have a forum we can discuss it and interact with you. But is this dynasty done? What do you guys think? I'll let questions go or no questions, and we'll go on.
The Warriors need Morant.
Smoking Jim, you're banned from the show. You just got banned. We're gonna skip fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's almanac. Guns.
I think that the Warriors are becoming a victim of just generations. Times change, teams change. And I think in the next couple of years you'll see new teams arise as guys get older and they move on. And it's just the nature of life, I think.
Well, I'll put this out there. I don't know if you can disclaim it, but when you say, can you call people stupid? Kevin Durant, one of the best basketball players you'll see for his height and shooting and everything, he left the Golden State Warriors, and what's he done since?
Ego.
But I mean, he's the one that says, You know, Mike Sullivan, the NHL coach with the Penguins, who's won 2 cups, play hockey the right way. Each time he's gone to a team, he said he went there to play the right way. Well, what did he win since, Nick?
Nothing.
Thank you very much for being my straight man. And that's why I agree with Guns. The sands of time keep blowing by. There's sand all over Smoking Jim, so he's moving forward. Guns.
You know, I remember when I was young, my greatest thing was watching the Knicks play the Lakers.
Yeah.
And that was everything. And now, you know, it's just time.
Wow.
No, good point.
That's true.
All right. I'll give a reprieve to Smoking Jim. He's my best friend. Too many unanswered questions, but I know more about him than anybody else. I believe he's lying to me, but we'll find out. Rowan, let's do Fiction and Fact with Smoking Jim's Almanac. 10 seconds or so. He's admiring the graphics.
Thanks, L. Levine, the talking machine. Time to get back to the facts of Fiction and Fact of Smoking Jim's Almanac. The greatest athlete I ever seen in my lifetime in the high school level was a guy that Nick never heard of called Dwight Collins. If you remember Terrell Pryor, he had similar skills. He was All-American in football, All-American in basketball, All-American in track, and his best sport was baseball. He gave up baseball after his sophomore year. His last at bat, he hit a 400-foot home run.
Where at?
And
documentation.
He won it. His dream was always at 6'3", 200 pounds in high school. His dream was always to win the 100-meter dash championships at states. His junior year, he went undefeated in the 100. Beaver Falls, he played for Beaver Falls. They had a great basketball team, so he went to an AAU tournament and didn't run at states. His senior year, every track he went to, he broke the stadium record in the 100. In the WPIL finals, he false started. You only get one false start. They kicked him out. So he entered an event he never entered before, which is the 200. He wins the 200 meters, goes to states. The relay team was really good. Matter of fact, they had 2 of the 3 fastest guys in the Beaver Valley.
Wow.
The second fastest guy in the Beaver Valley was Sherman McBride, the head coach of Ambridge. They can't seem to win a game the last 3 years. We know Sherm! But anyhow, they had Derek Moy's father was on that track team too. He's really fast. They go to states. Harrisburg got a guy that wins the 100-meter dash because Dwight's ineligible to run it. And Harrisburg's relay team beats Beaver Falls in a relay. And the guy from Harrisburg gets interviewed, and he says, I'm the fastest in the state. So Dwight Collins, who got there on a Thursday, started running on Friday. I went to his room Thursday. He had 20 girls in his room, and they was getting drunk. He sobered up real quick after that. Dwight comes out Saturday in the finals of the 200, and his form was way off because that's a long run for a brother. Dwight,
disclaimer, he's not a racist. Smoking Jim is not a racist. Those are his own opinions.
They give Dwight because his times wasn't good in the preliminary heat, so he got lane 1. Which in the finals, you want lane 3, 4, or 5.
Got the angle.
So he's in lane 1, which is the worst lane other than lane 8. Dwight Collins gets shot like he's shot out of a cannon. By the time he hits the first bend,
the turn,
he's already in first place. He turns to the guy from Harrisburg and says, beep, beep. Flies around the track. He gets 15 yards from the finish line. He turns around, runs backwards, and says, don't ever tell nobody you can outrun me. Breaks the tape with his back. New state 200-meter dash record. Dwight Collins, the living legend. His record got broken the next year by Clinton Davis, but he set a 200-meter record finishing backwards, telling the guy, don't ever tell nobody you can beat me. Went on to have a great career at Pitt and whatnot. But that's the fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. Dwight Collins, one of the all-time great athletes. I was there to witness.
We know we can look up the year. We just weren't sure how old Smoking Jim was. And a disclaimer is because he's a black man who's not a racist. He doesn't reflect any of our opinions, nor do we believe that. So it's a little embellishment because he's a good actor, but great true story, and I know that's true. He threw out the facts. I used to read the paper and follow a lot of sports. Smoking Jim told me once he ran 100 and 200, and as Urkel, he never got up to the 400s. And shout out to Chief. Chief said, I think Denver will kill the Lakers. And, Chief, that's why we all like watching sports. We all have our opinions. I don't know if the Lakers can do it, but look at what they've done so far with, I never thought they'd get into the play-in.
Denver got that white boy. Can't nobody stop him. I like him, man.
Disclaimer again. Smoking Jim's covering both aspects of it. We have white, black, and we don't have gray yet, so we'll wait for that next disclaimer. Again, he still doesn't represent us. But thank you, Smoking Jim. Pete Kasich has something. Some of this stuff sounds like it's coming from a liberal, left-wing Democrat making up stories and hope they believe them.
Who said that?
Pete said that. Well, he's been around and he's been anti-government for a long time. I got you beat. I gave up on both parties 40 years ago, and I still vote for a few people that I do know or friends of mine know them. So you can decide whatever you think you're hearing. We're just trying to be straight up in these unstraight days. So we'll carry on. Let's go to the next segment, Jim Ellenbogen's Guns.
Right. Al, I know you asked me to do some research on Smoking Jim, and this is what I find. There was an All-American Smoking Jim from Texas A&M, and then 4 years later there was an All-American named Smoking Jim at Purdue. And 4 years after that there was one at Southern Cal.
That's 12 years.
There's no way you can trace him. He just is what he is.
Untraceable.
All right, let's talk a little bit of Steelers.
Thank you, guys.
Let's talk a little bit of Steelers. Re-signed Mason Rudolph, huh? And I thought to myself, why would they re-sign Mason Rudolph?
Because they hate him.
Well, Pittsburghers have moved past him. You know, it's a bad optic coming up with, Omar and his new team. And then it dawned on me, why would you re-sign a third-string quarterback when the odds of using up the first two are kind of very rare? Why would you not just draft one of these young kids and teach them? And then it hit me. Trubisky isn't obligated to stay here. So that tells me Trubisky's looking to go bye-bye so that you already got a trained guy to move up to second string. That's what I think's going on there.
So Omar Khan is a good football guy.
Maybe.
That's anti-Smoking Jim.
Yeah.
Sorry to break up the gym table.
But that's what it looks like to me.
Great analysis.
I
saw through it.
I'll tell you what really bummed. I seen that J.J. Watt was here.
Yes.
Now, I know he didn't come here to say hi.
No.
That would have been a great optic if Omar Khan would have found a way to sign him. Because the people, and I'll tell you what, J.J. Watt could put handcuffs on himself and put 100-pound concrete cast, and he'd still be better than the Steeler defensive ends that are in there.
I agree.
Well, Guns, I'll just tell you this. That was the first part of negotiations. You're not like the NFL Players Association. Negotiations 101, never accept the first deal. NFL players, check it out, the facts, I said it. worst negotiators ever, accepted the first contract proposal from billionaire owners. Guess what JJ did? Put the little balloon out, got some information. See you in October.
Let me tell you something. Pittsburghers would love J.J. Watt on that team.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Guns would love J.J. Watt on that team.
He got some guns.
Absolutely. Just loving him. I just think that would make a great thing for the Steelers, you know.
Well, coming attraction. I'm telling you. Stay tuned.
I hope you're right. You're the Union guy, so we know.
No, I understand that.
Last thing, Pirates. Yeah, they've had their ups and downs, but they're still farther than they would have should have been. And I was starting to get a little bummed, but yesterday's game kind of brought me back out of it. So I'm still enjoying them. I hope they do better.
Well, I'll just ask rhetorically, who in Pittsburgh, except for only a couple people I know, thought they would have a winning record in May? And if you tell me that, most of you are lying.
Chip probably would have.
Well,
I said they'd win 84. I didn't know.
I got a bet, Smoking Jim, a quarter
84.
with Nick. I said they'll have a losing season.
Wow.
He says 84 would be a winning season. He didn't know that when we made the bet.
The only sad part about this is Zambelli's losing a lot of money here because
Yeah.
we all know that when we're in deep trouble, Buddy picks up the phone and goes, quick, we don't got no bobbleheads, put up the fireworks, and Pittsburghers go,
I'm going to the game on Friday. They got a Marvel drone show. So they're doing
Really?
more
Hold
stuff.
on. You got to go to
wow.
Grandmaster Zhang's first.
I gotta call my mom. I totally forgot I was working the morning show that day. Thank you. I'm glad I mentioned it.
Glad I could mention that. Hey, Johnny, you're not the only guy to vote for Smoking Jim today. Chief said he wrote in Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thank you, Chief.
Well, Chief, the only thing is he's not registered on anything to even vote. We don't know his government name.
he's on the green ticket.
And I'll share with Chief's a longtime union worker, co-worker with me. And Chief, maybe you'll remember that sometimes we didn't like the candidates because we were young kids. We wrote in Mickey Mouse. And he never won.
Only one that knows the back of a baseball card better than me is Chief.
Yeah, and his dad, may he rest in peace. And yeah, but you don't know many baseball cards. I've seen your capability. No, there's nothing there. All right, we got to go to the VIP, Nick Callison, 10 seconds. Let's go.
What was the time? Let's do it.
Mariano strikes again.
All right, here's the opinion. So it deals with Mason Rudolph coming back to the Steelers. Here's all I want to say. I mean, I've had faith in Mason Rudolph, and I've said maybe he didn't get the best opportunities in Pittsburgh. Does that mean that he's good or not? No. If you want to say that he's not a good quarterback, that's fine. I wouldn't feel bad for him either because, I mean, he's getting paid $5 million to wear a hat on the sideline and, hold a clipboard and look important, So, I mean, it could be worse. And, I mean, I don't know what the specifics of his deal are yet coming to the Steelers.
They haven't reported it.
No, right. But it should be worth millions, right? He's a veteran. He should be getting veteran money.
You want him to get the cut
He's
deal.
going to be fine.
He got $5 million. He got $5 million.
Who?
That's more than Hamready got.
Who did?
Is that an official report?
Yeah.
Based on which source?
Which you talking about the third quarterback, Mason Rudolph?
Yeah.
$5 million.
I'm asking where you get that information from.
In other words, it's not true.
You know I ain't wrong.
Okay, so not official. He could be right. It's not an official release, and you won't say it's an official release because you got connections to the team, and perhaps you weren't allowed to say that.
He's the one that drafted him.
So that's all right. We'll assume it's $5 million. That's fine. Same amount of money he was making before. Either way, don't feel bad for Mason Rudolph. But I also heard somebody on the radio today say that he has a punchable face and he's like the turd you can't flush. And those kind of comments. Listen, maybe don't do that. I mean, if that's the opinion today, listen. Mason Rudolph should be one of the most neutral players that you should have experience with in the NFL. Okay, he's not supposed to start. We've got our savior in Kenny Pickett, so hallelujah to that. Okay, there's not much more we really need to hate on Mason Rudolph for. Okay, he is a viable third option at quarterback, and he might be a viable second option should, as Gunn said, Trubisky decide to bounce from his contract. So stop talking about Mason Rudolph like that, all right? I mean, he got an opportunity. He hasn't gotten to start. He had a quarterback drafted over him and a quarterback signed over him to do the job because the Steelers clearly didn't think that he could do the job. And now we've got a couple better options. I don't think we need to say any more poor things about Mason Rudolph. He's fine. I'm not saying I feel bad for him either. Again, he's making a lot of money. He could be a good quarterback to come in if we needed a third stringer. Like our expectation should be third stringer for him. That makes sense. But stop saying he has punchable face. I just don't like him. What are we doing? You know what I mean? Come on now, we as Pittsburgh fans, what are we doing? We got our quarterback that we want. Nobody else wants to sign Rudolph. Leave him alone. There's really no reason left for why we need to make fun of the man. That's the opinion.
Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it.
Yeah, what did they find that Cleveland defensive end for trying to kill him with his football helmet?
yeah, Miles Garrett.
Well, Smoking Jim said that he's not a liar, and he did hear the N-word.
Yeah,
so.
he did say the N-word, yeah.
Who?
Garrett.
Mason Rudolph.
So Garrett was a liar, and he said that that's what was said on the field.
Yeah, he did.
The referees were there and never heard it, and referees are honest like the sun.
Hold on, Rudolph said it, or Garrett alleged?
Garrett alleged.
Well, I know he alleged publicly, but you're saying Rudolph said it.
Yeah, Rudolph said it.
And
he said something that ended in the ER.
Well, there's an F word that can end with an ER.
Yeah, and an MF word, and a lot of them. He said something that ended with an ER. So.
Well, did they run the tape?
What if he said trucker? What if he said trucker? You guys are always getting negative about the swear words.
I want to know what he got fined for trying to
kill him. I mean, I don't know what your relationship.
I vacation a lot in Rock Hill, South Carolina. It's like 10 miles from Charlotte, so believe me, I don't get caught there after dark.
That's where I lost the trail.
I don't get caught there after dark, and that's Mason Rudolph's hometown. That's all I'm saying. I go there and get my gas and come out of there, bro.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Why would Tomlin defend him then after the game?
South Carolina.
Because I know what your relationship with Tomlin is. I don't know how good or bad it is.
Yeah, we don't have much of a relationship anymore.
So why would Tomlin defend his?
That's something you got to ask Tomlin. I don't think he's I think Mason Rudolph should have been their starting quarterback this past year.
That's
maybe Tomlin's still punishing him. I mean, I ain't seen Tomlin do anything good for Mason Rudolph since then.
That was something that came up that I've heard too, is that other teams might not have been interested in him specifically because of that incident, because he deserved a helmet to the head because he used that language.
He could have got killed. The other time he got killed, he took his face mask off in that one.
So you're telling me there's nothing that would excuse a helmet to the head, right?
No, nothing.
Not even that.
Strong guy like
only saying
Miles Garrett is one of the strongest guys in the NFL.
Do you think other teams wouldn't be interested in Rudolph if what you're saying is true? No character issues to just call somebody that name at the moment.
Well, he's from South Carolina.
Yeah, he'd have to go head north.
This is slipping in there. Nick, thanks for your opinion.
Hey, if
everybody but Smoking Jim.
Nobody go with him.
By the way, Smoking Jim has no official sources. He wasn't in the war room this year because he didn't acknowledge he was eating steaks. So the Steelers got rid of him. He's too embarrassed and too proud of a guy to admit that Chief just said he voted for Batman.
All right, that's my man,
right,
Chief.
We're ready. We're going to get my segment. So, Rowan, put it in there. We'll see if we close it out. She needs friends.
Oh, God help me.
I like that. All right, on location. I had to correct Nick. We have an on location, the 1-year anniversary, the grand opening of Zhang Taekwondo next to Planet Fitness in the Chartier Shopping Center down below the other one up above, and we'll be there from 5:30 to about 8:30, and it's a great day. They're even having a food truck out there. Smoking Jim is shunning us again.
You're not coming.
He won't be there
I'll be in
again.
Harrisburg.
Boo! Boo!
So-
Well, I didn't even know I was going until 5 seconds ago. So
Well, you knew last week.
I did. That was.
Yeah, something happened to Nick. So we always have a great time there. Grandmaster Zhang promised he's going to get Smoking Jim something. I heard it's a hat because he tried Smoking Jim. He went to Omar the tent maker. And we used to say this a long time ago for the old school guys. He makes large clothes. Well, he doesn't make 6X large clothes. So he's looking at getting a hat. And so I looked up baseball hats because, you know, I like trivia and I like history. Guess when baseball hats first come out? Nick, you're a baseball guy. What year?
1849.
You're exactly right.
Seriously?
Wow.
1849 they came out. And they had similar hats, but they designed it with, you can see the brim that Smoking Jim has. And why does he have an upside down, horseshoe? He only owned a horse at the Meadows.
Colts, White Sox, Yankees,
Yeah.
maybe Pirates.
You need to ask the fans what they think about Al Levine, the Talking Machine T-shirts and hats.
Yeah, we may have to come out with some Talking Machine shirts and Pittsburgh Sportsline. We had the logo shirts. I was selling them, but that's been about 7-8 years ago, and we sold knit hats that people liked, and we had baseball hats, and we may look at some gear and setting up a gear shop that you can, if you're fans of us, maybe you'd like wearing some gear, and I don't mind the promotions. We're proud and honored to be doing a show that's won 30-some awards.
Wow.
And we've been going strong. It'll be 12 years, October 11th, that we'll be doing this. And
Happy birthday!
Smoking Jim has, I don't know what kind of intelligence issues, but he seems when we founded the show that's my birthday. And it's been odd because every year I tell him I was born June 30th, 1956. Like, you can figure out my age. He was born, we don't know. And it won't be my birthday, and I'll try to bring a cake in for that show, so it'll show happy 12th anniversary. That's what we have. So, but yeah, the gear, if we get some comments about possible gear down the road, we'll see about it. I had a great, great people that designed the logos and polo shirts, hats, stuff like that. So we'll see if we can come back. I always wanted to get T-shirts, but we didn't get deep enough into it, so maybe we'll get some T-shirts. And Smoking Jim, I won't be selling them out of a car.
Hello.
I'll bring a box in with them.
I'll take it to Major Harris Boulevard.
As long as we split the profits.
Yeah, there you go.
You know I'm about the green, so we'll do that. But no, hey, thanks for watching our show. Thanks for your feedback. Thanks for your interactions. I don't see everybody who's on there, but any of you who aren't stalking us and watching the show that your names didn't come up, thank you for watching it. Some of my old KO football buddies and all that, I appreciate you watching the show and telling me about that. So continue to carry on. Don't forget, like Pittsburgh Sportsline channel and subscribe to it. We're trying to boost that up. We need to get it past 111, so we'll see what happens. And thanks to everybody that helped us out tonight. Thanks for Diane. Thanks for Marco. Thanks for Rowan. Thanks for Johnny Mariano. And prayers to his dad and mom because they're going through some tough times there, and we hope the prayers can help. And stay Joey strong.